Hey everybody, yeah, I think I know Nintendo's master plan. And when I say this, I mean Nintendo is about to give us so much goodness, and it really begins this weekend and next week especially, that I think by the end of this month and really by the end of September, all of the complaints about the lineup for Nintendo and the frustration and everything else is about to melt away. While we've been having to be forcibly fairly patient with Nintendo since the launch of Switch 2, we're about to be served so much in such a short period of time that some of you might even get a little bit overwhelmed. Everything is taking shape. Nintendo knows what they're doing, but we need to talk about how we got here and what is coming, both factually and logically, let alone there's rumors as well, but we don't need rumors for this video. That being said, folks, before we dive in, if you are enjoying this video or have enjoyed any content at this channel, I would appreciate if you would subscribe. We're on our road to 160,000 subscribers, which is one step closer to the larger goal of 200,000 subscribers. I don't know if we can hit that this year, next year, whenever, but that is a goal here to help me achieve my dream of continuing to do this full time. Also, just want to let you know, if you like my energy, give a like on this video and go down in the comment section below and let me know what you're looking forward to most on Nintendo Switch 2 at this time. Now, as we dive in here, first we have to talk about how we got to where we are today. Look, you're seeing Nintendo's latest release behind me. This is Dragon Drive. Did not review very well, and a lot of people played the play test. Some people complained with their arms getting tired, which is understandable. You don't do this motion very often, you know. We don't move our arms like this a lot unless you work certain manual labor jobs. So yeah, that kind of repetitive motion, unless you're doing it in workouts or you're doing it, you know, at a job, probably is going to tire your arms out, right? The game itself seems pretty shallow to many. It lacks a lot of content. And look, I'm not here to dispute any of that. I haven't even played the game. I never played the playtest. Probably will check it out later today, if not later today, over the weekend or something. But my point that I want to make is this is now behind us. This is something happening today. Now we got to talk about that future, right? So Nintendo has all of this stuff going on since the Switch 2 came out. And what I mean is a whole lot of nothing. The game behind me, its release date was announced on Nintendo Today and on social media platforms such as X and I don't think Blue Sky, because they don't have an account there, but they did announce it on Facebook. They also announced it on YouTube. So they did announce it on various social media platforms. But my thing is, that's pretty much been it. All the summer showcases came and went, and there was not a peep from anything until we got to, well, the end of July 31st. You guys know we had a partner showcase, which had some good games, some good announcements. Elliot looks fantastic. Mina the Hollower is now one of my most anticipated games coming out in October. So look, there's some good stuff there. I didn't even talk about Octopath Traveler 0. So there is a lot of good things that they announced there, but it kind of felt like, again, the B tier lineup, which is really what we've been getting from Nintendo themselves. Outside of Mario Kart, yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza is amazing and probably a Game of the Year contender and probably should move up to an A tier and A-list franchise for them. But Donkey Kong has traditionally kind of been the B tier below Mario. We'll see if that continues, because Donkey Kong Bonanza might have just took it to that next level. But still, for many fans, that is not 3D Mario. That is a step below. If you haven't played Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that's the reason why, you are really missing out. Trust me. But there is more. Like, you think about Kirby Air Riders, a spin-off game from Kirby, right? That's not even a mainline Kirby game, and Kirby itself is usually considered a B-tier franchise. So a spin-off game from that, a spin-off Zelda game, another Warriors game in a world that a lot of people are kind of tired of. You talk about some of the other stuff they have going on as well, like Legends EA, Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, pretty hype. Legends EA, pretty hype for some people. Other people a bit more tepid, like myself, but we'll see. The game hasn't even come out yet. It can absolutely prove my my timidness with the game to be incorrect. So that's what I'm hoping for anyways. And that seems okay, but it just seems okay because since launch, we've had pretty much nothing big announced. Yes, we had that partner showcase. Yes, we had that Indie World. But where are the dates for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition? Where are the dates for things like, I don't know, any of Nintendo's first-party IPs. Hell, we're halfway through August, and we don't know what the hell Nintendo's releasing in September. In fact, the next release date we have is October 16th for a Switch 1 game that happens to have a Switch 2 edition in Pokemon. So, look, obviously it's been rough. It's been rough, and it's been tough for people that if you were disappointed by Mario Kart, or you're not a Mario Kart person, or maybe you were really into Bonanza, but you beat it, and you're like, what do I play next? Yeah, there's some third-party games. Madden also released technically today, even though there was a week early access last week if you bought the Deluxe Edition or the MVP Edition, or I don't know, whatever. Point is, you could have spent like $100 and got early access to the game. But here's the thing. We need to know what's next. And what's next is actually really exciting. I've been talking all week how there's not a lot of news this week, a lot of big news. It's kind of the calm before the storm, and the storm begins this weekend. We have Legends EA being demoed publicly for the very first time. It's also being demoed next week at Gamescom. Obviously, we also have the Fan Fest out in, Canada as well. They're going to be having a bunch of demos. In fact, a bunch of games that haven't come out, some without even release dates, are being demoed over the next 20 days even. Like, it's not just there. It's happening at PAX West as well at the end of the month. There's going to be so much news and coverage for this stuff over the next 20 days. It's hard to not be excited, even if we, or I should say most of you, aren't going to get to go hands-on. I'm going to PAX West, and I am going to get to go hands-on with these games, and that's exciting. But we will finally have things to look forward to. We'll have things to talk about, things to speculate on, things to gush over or be mad at if it's not what we expect. Like if Borderlands 4 is not looking great on Switch 2, we got to talk about that. If Kirby Air Riders or anything else gets like demoed, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond getting demoed, if it doesn't look good, we got to talk about that. But if it's also fantastic, we got to talk about that. So there's going to be all this great stuff to tide us over. This doesn't tide us over gaming wise. Like, this isn't necessarily putting anything in your hands right now to play, but it at least can get you excited about the future of this platform, which is something that people are getting a little timid about right now on that excitement levels. And then think about this, though. Think about all those games we talked about without release dates. That also just logically leads you to believe there has to be another Nintendo Direct fairly soon before the holiday season. And that's because we need the holiday lineup. And in order to get it, we have to have a Direct. So just logically, a general Nintendo Direct has to be coming. And then Nintendo always celebrates the major Mario holidays, which they have decided since the 20th is every 5 years. So they did stuff for the 20th, the 25th, the 30th, the 35th. They're probably doing stuff for the 40th. They have a Mario movie literally coming out in April. They're clearly going to be doing stuff for the 40th anniversary of Mario. It's a money-making time for them. People like to celebrate Mario, and it's a big one. Like, I would argue probably the biggest one until the 50th, right? The 50th will probably be the next biggest one, and then after that, people will still celebrate every 5 or 10 years, but probably the 75th, you get to the quarter century, the 3/4 century mark. That's probably the next really, really big one. So yeah, the 40th is a big deal. Probably the biggest deal for the next 10 years. So Nintendo's probably going to do something for that. And it could be all mashed together into one big general direct with a Mario 40th section. It could be 2 separate events. And then think about it. There are certain games that probably need their own directs. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond probably ticks that box of needing its own direct before it comes out. Legends EA could end up ticking that box of getting its own direct before it comes out. Same could be said for Kirby Air Riders. Hell, even Hyrule Warriors. All these games could end up getting their own game-specific directs. We don't know if they will. The point is that something's going to be happening. The dam is going to break. Nintendo can't hold back everything forever because they have a holiday season coming up and they want to sell things. In order to sell things, you gotta let the dam break, either for things that people can buy now or for things that people can look forward to. Like if you buy a Switch 2 this holiday to play DK Bonanza and Pokemon and Kirby or something like that, well, you might go, damn, do I really spend the money now when I'm not excited about what's next year? You got to be excited about what's next year. So Dust Bloods, right? What else does Nintendo have coming specifically for Switch 2 next year? You know, they got to get us excited for at least some of that lineup. They don't got to tell us everything, but they got to reveal something. So that's also another reason why a General Direct has to be coming, because Nintendo's got to give us something to look forward to once you buy a Switch 2 this holiday season. So Look, guys, I think Nintendo has a very clear plan. It's just, unfortunately for many, we started off this generation maybe not in the way Nintendo had hoped. I don't think they really thought the conversation around Mario Kart World was going to be so negative as it is today. I think they really thought, hey, not only is this going to sell really well, people are going to love this game. And you know what? Public reception hasn't gone probably as Nintendo has planned. Now, Donkey Kong Bonanza's reaction seems to be going maybe even better than Nintendo thought it might be. We don't know yet because we don't have any sales figures yet. We'll have that official stuff not too far from now. Couple months or so. Nintendo gives the next quarterly update. We'll get big sales updates for DK Bonanza. I really hope that it sold well. But the point is that Nintendo clearly has a plan that they're just not deviating from. Normally, this plan would be fine. Normally, we would be okay with this plan. September directs, right? Normally, there's your February and your June and your September direct. But reality is we got an April direct instead of a June direct. And because of that, we ended up feeling like there's a long blank space where Nintendo just wasn't giving us any information. And it kind of felt like, maybe due to the lack of dev kits out there, that we pretty much got the launch lineups of Switch 2 and then almost nothing since. And that's a wild feeling when you consider how Switch dev kits were actually pretty available. And we were getting regular releases on Nintendo Switch after day one. So Nintendo obviously thought that things would be a little different. But it doesn't matter because we have now gotten through that. This month is probably the last lean month for releases for some time. Obviously, Dragon Drive behind me isn't impressing as much as people wanted, but hey, we are moving forward. And we have a lot of game demos to distract us, a lot of footage to dissect, a lot of news coming up here. And yes, direct goodness probably in September. Yes, we have rumors supporting that. Switch Force, Attack the Backlog, Nash Weedle, they're all saying directs, or at least one, if not multiple, are happening in September. We haven't had Nate the Hate or other journalists chime in quite yet. Could happen by the end of the month. Might not happen until September. But what I do know is that there's that song by Green Day, that's Wake Me Up When September Ends. And I think if you just kind of took a nap right now, then woke up at the end of September, and then went and checked what's going on with Switch 2, you're going to end up being extremely excited and in a completely different mental state about this platform than you are currently. Now, some of you are obviously already really excited and just enjoying your time and playing your upgraded Switch 1 games and playing some new indie titles as they come out. UFO 50 as an example. I get it. Like, people are, I'm not saying everyone's down right now. That is obviously not the case. I'm having a damn good time, and with my availability at the moment for gaming purposes, having a lighter lineup at the moment actually is quite advantageous for me. But I obviously understand that people want more, and you know what? That more is coming. The calm before the storm is what this week is, and then boom, the avalanche begins this weekend on forward. Are you guys excited yet? I know I am. I got just the hair starting to stand up on my arm a little bit there. I'm pretty excited for what's coming. So thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel RoboJets from Nintendo Prime. This was just a nice little one-on-one conversation with me and each one of you watching. Hope you have a good day.